Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Malicious here with the BlackBerry Z10, a contemporary of the iPhone 5 with a bigger display, higher resolution, more RAM, and a larger battery. And you pair that with the wonderfully optimized BlackBerry 10 OS, and you'd think you'd have a recipe for success, right? We're going to talk about it, and as well, how the story of the BlackBerry Z10 might be a cautionary tale for Onward Mobility as they about to enter the BlackBerry market with their phone next year. We'll talk about all that today on this edition of Steve Malicious Tech. And we're back as always. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers, up over 2,360 as of the taping of this video. If you're loving all the BlackBerry stuff, we got plenty more coming for you. We got BlackBerry Classic stuff, we got BlackBerry Passport stuff, some BlackBerry application stuff coming before the end of the year, and of course next year, Onward Mobility and the BlackBerry 2021 5G. If you're looking forward to all that stuff, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So let's talk today about the Z10. And sure, is it still usable today? Yeah, you could do some light stuff. I know a lot of people on the BlackBerry videos always leave comments saying, hey, you know what? I just need a simple device that I could disconnect with. I just need phone calls. I need texts. I need emails. And I need light web browsing. Well, let me tell you something. The Z10 will still do all of those things in 2020 and beyond. It is 4G. You could get that. It's got some nice things still about it. You got a headphone jack on there. You got it still connects to the BlackBerry server, so you got that. You have expandable memory. You have a removable battery in case you need that extra. You could carry an extra one around. You run out, you pop it in. It's 1,800 milliamp hours, which back in the day was quite impressive. And on paper, this thing should have been highly competitive. It shouldn't have been anywhere near the sales failure anyway, that it was. And you look at phones like the iPhone, and then you see this thing and how it has all those specs in advance of that, and you think, what happened? And this is where it gets to the lesson that I hope that they learn when they're going out to make the next BlackBerry. This was, I don't want to call it a copycat product, but it was kind of a Me Too product. It was following the crowd. It was saying, you know what? Everybody loves the iPhone. Everybody loves those Samsungs that were coming out. They sat there and they made fun of us for the keyboard and all the rest of it. So you know what? We're just going to give them something like this, and we're going to join the fray in the slab phones and see what happens. And instead of making a transformative product, something that really put their stamp on the marketplace, they came out with this. And it wasn't until a little bit later on that we found out just how well BlackBerry 10 can run, and it's not doing that on the Z10. Now, a lot of that could be hardware limitations. I was never a fan of the Snapdragon S4. I hate it on the Q10, and I hate it on the Z10. But when you pair BlackBerry 10 with something like the Snapdragon 800, like you got on the Passport, you could see just how much this thing could fly. And then you use it on the Z10, and it feels like a dinosaur. It's not that it lags or it crashes. BlackBerry 10 really doesn't do that. It's just it feels a step slow. It just feels like you're a little sluggish. And that doesn't make for a great user experience. The other problem that I think they had with this is that this was in the upgrade cycle coming out right off the heels of the BlackBerry Bold 9900. So that was 2 years out. So you'd have people that were just getting to the end of the life cycle, but whatever it happens to be. BlackBerry 7 was done. They had the phone for a couple years. They said, you know what? We want to try something without a keyboard. We want to try BlackBerry 10. This came out at that time. And if you go from the exquisite nature of the BlackBerry Bold 9900 and that machine, just that is a piece of technology that you just want to hold in your hand over and over and over again and use, to go to this, it just would not inspire you. And I know that might seem odd, but if you're watching these videos, if you're watching the old tech videos, if you're watching the old BlackBerry videos, you know what I mean. And it might not even be a BlackBerry, but there's always a moment when you get a phone that you just know is an excellent product, and you have it in your hands, and it's well built, and it speaks to you, and it's an intuitive product, and you're just able to, you just look forward to using it every day. You're almost looking for reasons to look stuff up online, or you're looking for reasons to text people or send out emails because you love using it that much. For me, it's the Passport. I love finding reasons to go ahead and type on that. I never got that feeling with the Z10. Now, that might be personal. If you loved it, let me know in the comment section below, but I just never did. It felt like they just released this to appease people and say, you know what? Slabs are the way of the future, so let's go ahead and give them one and see what happens. And the marketplace doesn't lie. It keeps a great scorecard sometimes, and this thing was sold terribly. Just never cut it. And I really hope that Onward Mobility learns their lesson with this. And instead of saying, you know what? Everybody loves it. Candy bars are the way to go. That's what's happening. That everybody's doing candy bars. So we're gonna, what we're gonna do? If we're gonna do a slab phone with just the glass, and then also we're gonna have a candy bar, and we're just gonna slap a keyboard on it, and then call it a day. And there you go. That's what the marketplace wants. No. Learn from things like the Z10. If you're gonna make a product similar to other things that are already out, you better dang well put your stamp on it. Make it something unique. Make it something that when you pick it up, you enjoy using it. And that's distinct to your company and your brand. Because the mistake of BlackBerry is that they tried to be like everybody else. And they were never going to be like everybody else because their competitive advantage should have been turned from a weakness, which is the keyboard, into a strength. And I'm not saying I sitting here knowing how to do that. I'm not saying that I got some grand scheme on how they could make a keyboard phone popular again. And I'm not even saying it has to be a keyboard phone to be made popular again or to have a unique product. But put some sort of spin on it that gives us some reference to your heritage. That gives the BlackBerry users, long-term BlackBerry users, something to grab onto and say, you know what? This is a BlackBerry. This isn't a TCL that they picked out from bin parts in China and slapped it together and they put the little BlackBerry logo on it. Give us something that some thought went into, some design went into, that when you sit down and use it, you're saying, oh boy, that's okay. This is something I can get into. And that to me was the failure of the Z10 because the specs were excellent on it for the time. It never really excelled in any of those areas. The performance wasn't amazing. There weren't things that you really could point to on it and say, you know what? This is why I loved using my Z10. However many years later, like we do with the other BlackBerry products that we have. Even the Z30, because the Z30 gave you something extra. That's the one that probably should have come out first. So that's my message, I guess, warning to Onward Mobility as they go ahead and look forward to their design on the BlackBerry for 2021, the 5G one. Look on the failures of the past, what worked and what didn't. And I can tell you, when they just released a product, that's sure, it was okay. I do think they had some innovation here. I do like their keyboard. I've said that before. Next to Windows Mobile, just under that, the next best on-screen keyboard was the BlackBerry on-screen keyboard. It's really nice. I turn off predictive text. I don't like it. I think you could basically cheat its categories with the online, the predictive text. It's distracting. Look how many different words could come up. I like the predictive text on the keyboard ones better. But anyway, so while they had some things on here that were notable, and you could say, oh, geez, oh, well, that's nice, and they did that well, but they were just features that they were rehashing or improving upon what others had done. They didn't make this device their own. And I'm telling you, it might seem stupid. You might sit there and be like, what are you talking? Like, what do you mean feel and this and that? But at the end of the day, I think the majority of people out there are going to know what I mean. When you pick up a phone and you just know it's something special. So if you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Still usable in 2020. I'll give them that, though. I'll give them that. I know a lot of people ask about that, but this is a great little disconnect device. If you're not looking for a keyboard device, if you just want something super simple, small form factor, which is now in vogue again, you could go ahead, use a couple apps on here. BlackBerry World, you can go ahead and update it, and it still runs fine. So if you get them dirt cheap, too. I think it's like $30. So if you're looking forward to that, you want a BlackBerry without a keyboard, maybe this is for you. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.